Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. This isn't really one that I want to be making. I wish I didn't have to be making, and one that I wish just didn't really have to exist at all. This is a video that's pretty important. I've been getting a lot of comments and a lot of tweets and everything recently about everything that's been going down, so I wanted to kind of go through everything, talk about the whole experience, and just kind of give you guys the full timeline of events and everything that transpired. So first and foremost, I want to give a bit of background as to who I am and who Riley is and everything. My name is Josh. My YouTube is ReverseJosh. I've been a fan of Jesse's for over 7 years at this point. I've been watching since the early days of the Psycho series, and ever since then, I've been a huge fan of Jesse's content and what he does, and everything like that. And same for Riley, or Shallow, as you guys probably know him better. We met in high school, and we've been doing videos together for years. You can find old videos on both of our channels that we're both in with each other. We've known each other for a very long time. We've bonded over Jesse's content. We've even done parodies and spoofs of Jesse's content in the past. All that was in high school though. It wasn't until after high school that things started getting a little more serious. Just after high school ended for us is when StoryFire actually announced that they were taking video applications for the platform for the first round of completely original StoryFire creators. Users submitted content was going to be put onto the platform finally after My Virtual Escape, and a couple other random users had gotten access that were familiar with Jesse. But this was the first time that StoryFire users were able to upload their own content. Me and Riley both had downloaded it, wrote some stories, whatever. But it wasn't until video that we really got excited about the platform and joined it and started working together on his series titled Shallow. Shallow, you can find it on StoryFire. It's a raunchy little comedy series about 3 kids in community college or whatever. That's kind of besides the point. At the point we started StoryFire, we were like, yeah, this is our opportunity. Maybe Jesse will see our stuff. This is really cool. It's a big opportunity. We're pitching a show basically to this platform. Going to be one of the pioneers of the site and everything like that. So something we were really excited about. So we worked together on the show for quite some time, almost a year or so together working on the show, and parted ways for a bit. And then I ended up also getting my own series on StoryFire. It's called Strike. There's a trailer and an episode on my YouTube channel. You guys can check that out. And so since then, since StoryFire started, we've been ride or die for this platform. We've been constantly making videos, uploading as much as possible, making quality content for this app that doesn't really do well on YouTube. Which was what the whole point of the platform was, and it's something we looked up to Jesse for making, we looked up to Brian for making. It was really something special to us, and it still is. I'm wearing the hat right now. I got the posters sitting there behind me. I'm still ride or die for StoryFire. Things started getting complicated at the point with the shutdown. The StoryFire shutdown was a really big deal. For everybody on the site. When the shutdown was announced, we had 1 week to get all of our content from the site, get all our stories, get all our posts, everything, our whole logs of everything, and we had a week's notice to do that, which was kind of crazy. It's pretty short term, and it was just kind of that was it. StoryFire was ending. Then the whole thing came where StoryFire was magically saved by some mysterious investor, which just happened to be Jesse. Put a little sour taste in everybody's mouths. Obviously, I still had this feeling, and I think Riley still had this feeling. I don't want to speak too much for Riley on these aspects, but I'll just speak for myself. After the whole revival of the platform and the platform was saved, I was given a second chance, basically. I felt that StoryFire was still going to be sticking around. I felt like everything was still going to be fine with the platform. I was going to see it flourish, see it grow. And it felt like I got a second chance to upload content as much as I needed to. I over doubled the amount of content on my channel. I was posting consistent vlogs. I started a new series with the StoryFire Moderator. all this stuff. Like the StoryFire thing has been a crazy journey at this point. Then, a month and a half later, StoryFire is being sold as an NFT. And already, we're thinking, after the whole shutdown and Jesse saving the platform, this NFT thing didn't make any sense. When this anonymous buyer deck chair comes in to buy the platform, everybody thinks it's Jesse. It's very clearly seeming like it's him buying the platform. It's sold for $15,000. It's a multi-million-dollar company. It doesn't really make any fucking sense at all. And that, fast forward to where we're at now. There's been no transparency. There's been no information onto what's going on. It just is always like, we're working on it. We're getting close. We're getting close. We're always close. We're always close. Like, it's been 2 months since the platform was bought. Where are the updates on this thing? Like, what's going on? Nobody knows what's going on. The platform's pissed. The community's pissed. Like, nobody knows what's going on. So that's where me and Riley come in. And we decide to go to New Jersey and rent out these rooms that Jesse's been hyping up. We're StoryFire guys. We're popping off on the platform. We're the biggest names on the site of the user-generated ones. And so we wanted to go rent the rooms and know who this deck chair person is, because it's Jesse. Like, come on. Like, it definitely seems like it's Jesse. So we show up at the house. I have all this money with us, and he lets us in after a bit of banter in the front yard. Like, obviously you guys saw this on the videos and stuff. He lets us in, and we talk about the money, and immediately rushes us into the theater. The theater and all, like, turns out that the rooms aren't even done yet. After they've been like, oh, we're building these rooms. Swift's doing this construction series. Nick's doing these other videos. Like, when are these rooms going to be done? Like, they're not done, and we're forced into the theater. And in the midst of all this, the theater is filled with dust. It's to the point where, like, it's hard to breathe in there, and, like, there's so much dust from all the construction they're doing, because they decided, like, oh, while we're there, like, oh, let's keep, going crazy, let's speed run the rooms. Like, for who? We're there. Like, are they for us? But no, apparently not, because we're kicked out. I'll get to that in a bit. So we're in the theater, and you guys saw in the video I gave him money and whatnot. I gave him $1,400 of the cash that I brought with me for 2.5 nights. I don't know what a half night is, and I gave him $400 for a half night when the other 2 nights were $500. So I don't know why I couldn't get 80% of a night or something. I don't know. It doesn't really make any sense, but whatever. I was staying at McJuggerNuggets house. It was cool. Like, whatever. I had more money. It was fine. Granted, it was a lot. It was a lot of money that I gave him, because he was charging, apparently, based on the videos, he's charging the guys, like Tippy and Miguel and whoever, $1,000 a month for rent. I gave him more than that for 2 nights, 2.5 nights. So after we give him the money and we're all settled in the theater finally, it's later in the night, and we have the idea to go upstairs. We were told not to go upstairs. We didn't have any food in the basement. We didn't have any bathroom in the basement. So we would have to go upstairs at some point. So we figured might as well just go upstairs anyways and just get this taken care of. We also decided that for the sake of the StoryFire community and the subreddit and everything, that we want to know who this deck chair person is. Because we think it's Jesse. We legitimately think it's Jesse. And so we're trying to get on his laptop, and Swift is in the pantry, like, shoving food down his throat and stuff, and, like, I don't know, this whole thing. And then Jesse comes down, he's in his underwear, he starts yelling at us. Riley and him getting a big whole thing. I'm, like, in shock. Like, I don't know what's going on. I'm not saying anything. He's clearly in character, like, messing with us or something. I don't know what's going on. That all happens, like you guys saw in the videos, and then we get thrown back into the basement. So that's the first night. Already we're off to a great start. We're already off to a great start with this relationship with McJuggerNuggets. And yeah, I don't know what to say. I didn't know what to say then, and I don't know what to say now about that. So then we have the next day. We come upstairs again while presumably Jesse's sleeping, and so that was the first night. And so for the next morning, we get up and we don't hear Jesse or anybody up, so we go upstairs. We start looking around the house, looking for just first of all, just getting a layout of the house down, because we're gonna use the bathroom, we need to get food, like all this shit. And we end up talking to Swift again, who I'll talk about him in a minute, because there's some more to that story, which I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen in the videos. So we're talking to him for a minute, and we just like kind of get away because he starts shouting and like blah whatever. And we see Tippy catches us in the house, and it's this whole thing. Like Tippy says his name is Muffin. I don't really know what that was. So later on, we go back in the basement, like whatever, after Swift is like freaking out, and we start just watching videos, doing some research on who this possible deck chair person is. Swift uploaded a video a while ago during the auction saying that he bought StoryFire. So it's possible that maybe anybody in the house could be deck chair. It could be Swift, it could be Tippy, it could be Miguel, it could be Nick, it could be anybody. So we were watching that video, and Swift comes in and he brings us this sandwich that he just like slammed his fist into and like manhandled. He like ripped it in half. Like, kid doesn't know how to use a knife. I don't know what that's about. And he brings us one Pepsi and a bag of Sun Chips, which I don't even like. I don't like Sun Chips. Sorry for all the Sun Chip fans out there, but I don't like them. And I didn't want this manhandled sandwich that's just been ripped to shreds. We don't even want to eat it, and he's like talking to us like, yeah, you guys really inspired me, guys. Like, you guys really brought the fire back to me. Like all, I don't even know, all this stuff. And he leaves, and then Riley and I go upstairs again, and Riley, like, we get the idea that Swift might be deck chair. We're filming this whole thing, and Riley's like interrogating him. So Riley like fights Swift for whatever reason. I'm just there to film. Like, he asked me to film. I'm filming. He's my friend. Like, I'm gonna help him out. All that, this whole I don't know why that was all necessary. I really don't. It didn't feel right to be doing after the night before. But I was just helping out my friend, do whatever. So then later that day, we go out to the Juggymobile to look for more answers as to who deck chair is. Because we need to know, like, this is part of our mission. Like, we are there to know who deck chair is. We want to know who this buyer is. We want to tell the community, like, what's going on with the site. Like, nobody knows anything. Nobody's being told anything. We just want to help. So we go through the car, and this is where things like kind of take a turn. Go through the car. I run around the corner, and I look, and here comes Jesse and Nick. You guys have seen the video, obviously. And we get in the trunk. In that moment, I didn't really know what else to think to do. So we popped the trunk open in the Juggymobile and climbed in. That full video is on StoryFire if you guys want to check it out. So we're in the trunk of the car, and the car starts moving, and it just goes and goes and goes and goes for what feels like 20 minutes or something. And eventually it stops. They get out of the car, and it's raining out and everything. And Riley opens the trunk, and we're at his dad's house. We're at Jesse's dad's house. That was a whole thing. I I regret going in the trunk. I definitely do regret doing that. I'm not proud of that. I don't know, but I don't know. I don't really know. Anyways, we climb out of the car. We're running around the property, like freaked out because we're at the Psycho Series house. We're at Psycho Dad's house. And if we get caught, we're probably going to get shot. I say it in the video, it's the worst place we could have ended up going to. You know, why couldn't it just been like the grocery store or something? No, it had to be his dad's house. Then we go back in the car and we're sitting there doing whatever, and we come up with the idea to go in the basement. Go into the house, through the basement, look for more answers. Riley gives me this whole speech. We're here to look for answers. We're here to represent the community, the StoryFire community, the subreddit, everybody that wants to know, what's going on with Jesse, what's going on with StoryFire, what's going on with this, with that. That's what we're there to do. So we go in the basement and we're looking around stuff for a few minutes until I knock something over. My clumsy ass knocked over a metal tin full of toys, and guess they heard us, and they came down and caught Riley in the fan mail cubby, and his dad came out and started yelling at us and threw us out into the rain. It's just like a whole thing. I didn't know what to do in that moment. We were telling him the truth. Technically we were telling him the truth. We did come there with Jesse. Jesse did bring us there technically. He didn't know that he brought us there, but he did. And we just get thrown out. And it was honestly like one of the most terrifying things that's probably ever happened to me. Being face to face with Jesse's dad after being caught sneaking around in his basement. Yeah. So then Jesse comes to the car and tells us to take off our pants and shit. I don't know what that's about. He's digging through our pockets. Riley's pulling on his pants. I'm not taking off my pants. This is some weird. Jesse says it's not some weird McJuggerNuggets shit. He's trying to, I don't know, violate us or something. That whole thing was just a mess. And so we get back to the house, and Jesse's asking us for more money. So I gave him $600 more to cover the rest of that half night and give us another night in the house. And so we do get that. And I forgot to even mention this. During the time that we're there, Jesse's making us paint the rooms and help put them together. I don't know why we're helping paint these rooms when they're not even for us. I don't know. We were painting Swift's room and we're painting the other two. What are we're guests in the house. Why are you making us do manual labor? I'm already paying you $1,400 and I gave you another $600. I gave you $2,000, dude. I gave you $2,000 to sleep in a theater filled with dust and probably get some lung disease or something, and paint these rooms, do manual labor for you and all this stuff. It's insane. Like, this guy is crazy. Like, I thought a lot of the stuff on the videos was like an act. I thought it was a show. I thought that's what this whole thing was. And it's not. It's not. Everything is real. It's really something. So fast forward, it's another day, and me and Riley are down in the basement, and see, this is where just things like get crazy. Like, already with his dad, that was one thing. Jesse fighting us the night before, Riley fighting Swift. Like, then comes the pool incident. The pool incident, Riley and I were in the basement, we're hanging out, and he's doing a lot of thinking. He's like kind of running around just thinking. So I pick up the camera and start filming. And he decides that we need to go to Jesse's lake house in Pennsylvania. Because honestly, it makes sense. If Jesse was actually deck chair, then he wouldn't be leaving his deck chair information and all his stuff in the RiDGiD house. He doesn't live there. He lives at the PA house. He lives at the Philadelphia house or whatever, Pennsylvania house, wherever it is. So we were going to go there. And we didn't have a car. But turns out, from Swift's video, Nick leaves his keys in the truck. And so Riley has the bright idea to take Nick's truck and drive it to Pennsylvania. And I don't know what to do in this position that I'm put in. I'm put in a terrible spot by everyone involved in this, and I just say fuck it, and I go with him. I'm filming for him. I'm trying to help him out. I'm just thinking about the community at this point. I want to help the fans, the StoryFire peeps. Like, I want to help everybody. And so I agree to go, and we get in the truck, and we're pulling out from around the house, and there's everybody. Ashley, Jesse, Nick, Miguel, Tippy, Nick's girlfriend, everybody. And there's a pool in the middle of the yard, and Riley stops the car, and there's a bit of hesitation. Then Riley just floors it through the pool. I don't know why he did that. I'm not happy to be involved in that. And I just don't know why it had to go there. Turns out that Jesse didn't give a shit about the pool, and he's asking us for more money. Riley gets cleaned up and all this stuff. I'm kind of fast forwarding here. I've kind of been talking a lot, so we're kind of fast forwarding. You guys have seen the videos, so you guys know basically what happened. I'm just kind of doing a retelling here. We get cleaned up, everything, and we're sleeping. We go to bed, and we're woken up in the middle of the night by Jesse. He tells us it's time to go, and basically just throws us out. And I start filming because I'm like, what the hell? Like, why are we getting kicked out? I'm gonna be filming this because he's filming us. He's got this light shining in my face, it's waking me up. And he tells us it's time to go. So I'm filming, I'm packing my stuff. He starts arguing with Riley, so I start following him out there. He threatens to break the camera because I'm filming, and I go out there. And I go back in and pack up the rest of my stuff because it seems like he's serious. He's seriously throwing us out in the middle of the night. It's like 2 a.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m. I don't know. And we're getting thrown out. So I'm filming because this is crazy. And I come back out with my camera, still filming. And Jesse takes it and throws it against the ground, the concrete in the basement. And that's where this comes in. This is my camera. that was thrown into the ground and shattered. This was not necessary. This was, I don't know. I don't know why he had to do this. I thought the psycho shit was fake. I thought the breaking shit was fake. I thought all of it was fucking fake. Turns out it's real. It's very real. Because I'm left with this broken shell of a camera. After he had already taken $2,000 from us. And turns out he stole the rest out of my f***ing backpack. He took the rest of my money out of my bag. About $4,000 more dollars. I had about $6,000 with us. I paid him $2,000 for all the nights that we stayed. And then he took the rest out of my f***ing backpack. And he smashed my camera. And he threw us out in the middle of the night. Now, I saw Riley's video about suing Jesse. And I'm in a weird spot about everything. I'm not really sure where to go from here. I just want my money back. And I want a new f***ing camera. So, Jesse, if you're watching this, and I know you are, you. You're a piece of shit. And, yeah, you're going to get what's coming to you, man. As for Riley, you know, why do we have to go that far? Why did the pool thing happen? That's my biggest, I don't know. I'm going to talk to Riley in the next couple days here and figure everything out. Because I have done nothing wrong. I feel like I haven't done anything wrong. I'm a victim of Riley's actions, and I'm a victim of Jesse's actions. And I want justice for myself, for the StoryFire community, for everybody involved in this. Jesse, I don't want you to forget this one thing, that when we left and you threw us out, you told us who Deck Chair is, bro. You shouldn't have done that. You really shouldn't have done that. That's all I have to say about this whole situation. I know most of this video was a retelling of everything. But I just wanted to give the full story and the full picture from my point of view. And share my thoughts about everything. So I'm just going to end this here. If you'd like to support me and help me out here, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Share this video around. Riley, if you're watching this, we need to talk. Because this shit's ridiculous. And Jesse, like I said, if you're watching this, f*** you. So yeah, that's I think that just about does it for this video. Yeah, stay lit, guys.